on board. Get started.
Yeah. It started?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Is always useful.
Okay, whenever you are ready then.
Yes, so hello and welcome everyone to the ACM womENcourage poster and abstract workshop. So the main objective of today's workshop is to provide a better overview of the conference, what it entails for the participants, while also providing a specific focus on poster and abstract submissions and what it takes to write a winning submission. So here is the agenda that we have for today. So I will start by providing a general overview of the conference and what it's about, and why you should consider submitting a poster to the conference. Furthermore, I'll talk a bit more about the poster submission process, from writing the extended abstracts to submitting the poster on the submission portal, and of course, what it takes to write a winning submission as well. Furthermore, I'll also give a brief overview about the scholarship opportunities and other fundings that are available for students so that they can fund their travels to come attend the conference. And towards the end, we will have one of our students who will share her experience from attending last year's conference. And before we close the session, we will open up for some questions. So, as most of you are aware, this year's womENcourage conference will be held here in Trondheim from September 20th to the 22nd. But a lot of you still may be wondering what this conference is about and what it entails. So to give you just a brief overview of the conference, so the womENcourage conference is open to all genders, and it was primarily initiated to connect women from diverse technical disciplines and to encourage them to pursue their education and profession in computing. The conference further aims to bring together women within the computing profession and related technical fields to exchange knowledge and experience. So basically, this isn't a gender-specific conference, nor is it a conference specific to a single technical discipline, as the overall agenda is to promote connection and sharing of experiences among people of all genders, particularly women, within the different fields of computing. So overall, I think it's a wonderful opportunity by taking part in the conference to meet new people, to network, share knowledge and experiences, and to gain so much more. And one potential way of doing that would be to submit and present a poster at the conference. So as I previously mentioned, this is a wonderful opportunity to build your network, to gain new connections, listen to interesting talks and tutorials. There will also be a career fair, and this is also an opportunity to take part in the various social activities that we have planned. So overall, I think it's a very interesting and exciting few days that we have planned for the conference. And though it's also possible to attend the conference without submitting a poster, we highly do recommend and encourage you to submit a poster for the conference. So submitting a poster, I think, is a very active way of participating in the conference, as you will be able to present your research, you can initiate discussions and share ideas and so on. So we highly do encourage submitting a poster. So these are some of the few reasons why I think you should highly consider submitting a poster for the conference. And now, assuming that you are willing to consider submitting a poster, what do you do? Where do you start? So the first step would be to write an extended abstract of your research and what you would like to present. So with respect to the extended abstracts, there are a few things that you should keep in mind. So the first is that there is a page limit. So the extended abstract should not be longer than 2 pages, and this is including references. And the abstract should be written in the ACM format. So the template for this format is also found on our website, and I'll walk you through the website in a bit. But this is the first thing to keep in mind. And another important aspect that I would like to mention is that for the womENcourage conference, we do not have any formal proceedings. So the posters will only be published on the conference website. So what does this mean? This essentially means that you can present work that has already been published somewhere else before. And for example, the work that you publish here, this can also be the work that you present here can also be published somewhere else in the future as well. So there's a lot of flexibility in this aspect as well, and I think that's another great reason why you should consider presenting your work at the conference. So now I'll just quickly show you the website. So this is the womENcourage website, and if you look under the posters tab, so you have submission guidelines. So here you will see that you find a template. So the ACM format template is over here. It might be a little hard to find, so that's why I thought of sharing it. So on clicking that link, you will be taken to the template webpage where you can find the template here. So that's where you would find the template for writing your extended abstract. So with that in mind, let's now see how to actually create a winning submission. So the theme of the conference for this year is computing, connecting everyone. So considering this is the theme, it would be highly beneficial to emphasize on the connecting nature of your work, such as bridging different scientific disciplines or the interdisciplinarity of your work, for example, the various subcommunities within computer science, or the bridging between academia and industry, or researchers from different countries or institutes, for instance. So in addition to this, as it goes with any other publication, defining the innovative character of your work is something that we look for. So for example, highlighting new research achievements or the application of existing technology in industry or society, for instance. Furthermore, it's really helpful to keep in mind these three review criteria. So the submissions will be evaluated on the basis of the following three criteria. So first is the degree to which there's a fit to the theme of the conference. So as I previously mentioned, the theme is computing, connecting everyone. So emphasizing on the theme is very helpful. The next criteria is how attractive your submission is for the womENcourage participants. So with respect to this, I think it's important to keep in mind that the participants are not from a specific discipline within computer science. So they're from diverse technical disciplines. So trying to make the submission not very specific, but also something that would be interesting for a wider audience is highly recommended. And the third criteria is how easily understandable it is to a wider audience. So these are the three main criteria to keep in mind while writing your abstracts. So basically, emphasizing on these three criteria is likely to result in a winning submission. And description of these criteria is also available on the web page for your reference. So keeping this in mind, we'll just jump into the next stage. So once you have written a winning submission, what's next? So next is the actual submission process. So for the conference, we're using the HotCRP submission portal. And in the following slides, I'll just quickly walk through the various steps involved in creating a submission. So as a new user, you will, of course, initially be required to create an account. And once you're logged in and on your welcome page, at the bottom of your welcome page, you will see a submission section where you will be able to click on the new submission button. Doing so, you will be taken to the next web page. So on this web page, you'll be required to write in all the details of your submission, such as the title of your abstract, the author's names, and then you will also be able to attach the abstract. So currently on the HotCRP system, next to the title text field, there's like a note that says that you have to enter the exact title that you want to be displayed in the ACM digital library, but that was a preset that we were not able to change. So as I previously mentioned, we don't have any proceedings, so this will not be published in the ACM digital library. So please don't be confused by what's mentioned there. So basically you would type in all the details here and attach the final PDF of your abstract. And at this point, it is optional to submit a poster. It's not necessary at this point. So the basic thing is that you submit the actual abstract. And it's also possible to make several submissions. So you can make several submissions from the same account, so the same authors can submit numerous abstracts. Next, here are some important dates to remember. So as you must be aware, the actual conference will be held in September from the 20th to the 22nd. And the extended abstracts deadline is on May 1st. So this is when you have to submit the actual abstract. So the posters are only optional. You don't have to. And on June 1st, you will receive notification of accepted posters. And after that, until June 30th, you have enough time to actually brush up on the extended abstracts and work on your poster. So it's only on June 30th that you have to submit the final abstracts as well as the final posters. So please mark these dates in your calendar. So on the day of the presentation, so for example, at the conference, so there are also a few things to remember. So you, as the participant, you are responsible for bringing your own poster. So you should be in charge of printing it and bringing it to the venue. And the size for the posters, it's A1. So these are also details that will be published on the webpage later. But just so that you're aware, you are in charge of your own posters. So now that we've kind of walked through the various stages involved in writing an abstract, to like how to write a winning abstract, to actually submitting it, and what is expected of you on the day of the presentation, let's also have a look at how you can actually make it to the conference, so how you could finance your trip and attend the conference. So currently, thanks to our several supporters, we're able to provide several scholarships to students. So currently there are two types of scholarships which we're providing. The first is one for students who are studying in universities in Europe or who are affiliated with educational institutions in Europe. And the second type of scholarship is specifically for student volunteers. So these are the two main types of scholarships. And with respect to scholarships, one date to keep in mind is June 10th. So this is the scholarship application deadline. So who exactly is eligible to apply for one of these scholarships? So there are several criteria, but the top three, I'll just go through them really quickly. So first is that you should be a student, an undergraduate or postgraduate student. You can also be an early career educator or a researcher. The second is that you must be studying in a European university or in an educational institution within Europe. And the third is that your field of study should be within computing, or it should be directly related to computing. So these are the three main criteria for applying. And after you apply, I think you will hear back from us within 1 month. And assuming that, for example, you don't get one of these scholarships, there are also various other options to consider. So for example, you can also look into the UGAIN ITC conference grants, as well as check Google Travel and conference grants. And we also have several other ideas that you can find on the ACM Women website. So there are various other options in case you don't get the scholarship as well. and for the internal students. So just a quick note for the students from NTNU, so both from the computer science department as well as the information and communication technology department. So we have numerous free registration slots. So previously I was told that we will have at least 15 free slots for each department, but now I know that the communication technology department has allowed more funding so that more students, potentially any number of students who are interested, can take part in the conference. So please don't think of the registration fees as a constraint. So basically, these were the main topics that I wanted to cover. And that was it from my side. Now I think I would like to give it to Sandra, who said that she would share some of her experience from last year. So Sandra, if you would like to take over.
Yes, hi. So I don't have any presentation or anything, but I thought I would just tell you a bit about my experience attending the conference as a student. So I am a final year student writing my master's. So the submission process was before starting my final year, and the process of submitting an abstract was pretty straightforward. I think maybe for students that have never written a piece of work like that, just researching what an extended abstract is might be the most time-consuming, kind of understanding what you want to write. But we got help from our supervisor, Letizia, and also by reading the website and looking at previous submissions. So for in my case and in all of us who attended the last conference, we're integrated master students, so we didn't have any previous work to really present. So for us, this was more preliminary work for our masters, and that works really well as another option if you're kind of in the same situation. So you can then kind of start doing pre-work for the work you want to do in your actual master thesis. And I think, yeah, that was a good solution. But if you have already done a bachelor thesis, that could be something you want to write about in an extended abstract. Just shorten it down and present that at a conference. Some students did that as well from other universities. So there are many options on how to kind of tackle the task, I guess. And overall, the conference itself was a good opportunity to meet people in the field and learn more about different things, such as some workshops and presentations were about AI, which I'm not focusing on a lot in my studies, so learning more about different perspectives in the field of computing was very interesting, and also meeting other students from other universities and also people working both in academia and industry was very interesting and insightful for my further work on my master's. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So if anybody has any questions?
Oscar?
Oh, yeah. Oscar, would you like to say something?
Maybe I can explain what ITC grant is. It's okay?
Yes, yes, please.
Hi everyone. I'm Özge from Turkey. I'm the ITC grant coordinator of UGAIN. As you hear, as you listen in the presentation, you have a chance to apply for the scholarship for womENcourage 2023. But if you don't available to get the scholarship from womENcourage, you have also another chance to get support for your participation to this conference. And this is ITC grant. This is a financial support for young researchers and innovators for their participation in high-level conferences. And there are some requirements for this. First, you should leave your primary affiliation is with an institution located in an ITC countries, and there is some information in our website about what are the inclusive target countries are. And secondly, your poster and or paper or etc. should be accepted and also listed in the official program of the conference. And lastly, you should be a young researcher, and that means you should be under 40. If you cover all of these requirements, then that means you're available to apply for the ITC grant. Like all of the scholarships, we have also limited budget for the ITC grant. So if you apply earlier, that means we can evaluate your application earlier, and maybe applying as soon as possible is better for you to get that ITC grant. And if you have another question, I'd like to answer those questions.
Thank you. So if anybody else has any questions, please go ahead. Either type them in the chat or just go ahead and ask.
Shruti,
Yeah.
Letizia here. Thank you very much for a very nice and clear presentation, and thanks to you, Oskar. There is a question in the chat from Milana, and this question, I really sympathize with that question because it's the same I had the first time I was looking at ACM Women Conference some years ago. So what is the difference between the abstract and the poster? So I think you explained well, Shruti, but first time is quite, so if we can explain it once more, that there are two different things. Mm-hmm. One is the abstract, that is a paper, and two is the poster, that is a poster. So when you first send the paper, you don't need to have the poster ready. Mm. And you can, if you are ready, but it's not necessary. I don't remember, Sandra, if you had the poster ready already at submission time last year, or if you made it later. Do you remember?
I think we may have submitted the abstract first, and then the poster, and then a video. Yeah. And so kind of how we decided to tackle the poster and abstract was that the abstract was more like if someone wanted to go and read kind of the entire thing we wrote, and then the poster, we picked out different things that we wrote in the abstract that we thought were important to highlight, and also tried to make it very visual, since it's a different type of medium than a text. I don't know if that makes much sense, but yeah, so have more of like text boxes and illustrations and figures to help the poster be easier to read in a poster format versus when you read a full text as a paper.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I see that now in the chat, Milana writes that it's clear now. So thank you.
If there are any other questions.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all for your time and for coming. We will post this on the ACM womENcourage website, the ACM Women Trondheim blog. We'll also share it via email, so that way you have access to the recordings and the slides. And if you have any questions, you can always email any one of us. So Letizia is one of the general conference chairs. I'm a local chair, and Shruti is a poster and abstract chair, along with Bara, who couldn't make it today. Claudia is also here from ACM Women Trondheim and the hackathon chair. So feel free to reach out to any one of us.
Alicia,
Yes,
Oscar wants to say something.
Oh, and Oshki is here, yeah.
Yes, thank you. You can also send an email to ask any question about ITC grant. You can find my email address in the link that Letitia shared with you from the chat. So please feel free to ask anything about ITC grant. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me close the recording before we can have maybe a bit of more informal chat. Wait, stop. Yes.